and people are using digital media, social media platforms, etc., to not only connect and share, but for education, for entertainment, and for reaching a much larger audience through the strength of their own voice, being able to amplify their message through an audience that they build. So that being the case, we really need to push our focus towards how well are we managing, how well are we producing content. So My Story Marketing is all about a content, all about the idea of you producing content that has impact in the marketplace. We have several people that are using 3 platforms. They're blogging, they're using video, they're podcasting. How do we blend those to more effectively reach a larger audience? It's one thing to produce the content. It's another thing to capture audience and to extend our reach. Zach, you're in the seat. What are some of the things that you have been using in your process? Just talk about your process for a second. And it doesn't matter. You can choose any one of the platforms that we just spoke of, blogging, video, podcasting. Give me a little bit about your process, your day-to-day, so that people, because that's the other thing. It's not just enough to produce content. It's what is your daily method of operation? What's your daily action plan? How do you deliver your content that you've produced to an audience, and how do you do that consistently? There's a big word, consistently. Zach, give us a little bit about your process.
So my process is I do have a blog, as I stated in the comments. So I have a blog, and I make a post every single day onto my blog. So I use that to develop content. I also create original videos. With videos, I try to do those every other day. I try to make sure I give value with the videos. I don't just put a video out there if it's not giving value. But when I make the video, I will take that video and actually create a blog post from it, and post it onto my to my blogging platform, and not just on social media. Because one thing I want everyone to realize on here, and I'm actually doing a training about this tonight with some people on my team, is that yes, we use the social media a lot, right? But having your blog is like having your own personal internet real estate, meaning nobody can take your blog away from you. So I don't just dump all of my videos on Facebook because say something happens to Facebook. Say Facebook shuts down my entire account for whatever reason. Then all those videos and all those contacts I made will be lost. So one reason I always transpose all of my videos from Facebook to my blog site is I will never lose them. So that's my daily method of operation, is making videos, put them on my blog site, so that way it's forever out there in the internet world. And guess what? When it comes to content marketing and making money with my story, one of my mentors from afar, Mr. Ray Higdon, he always says that he tells a story about how he makes money from his blog that he did back in 2009. Why? Because people can go to your blog 24 hours a day, and you don't know they're on your blog. But guess what? You can have a product out there, something that you're marketing on your blog. Somebody's always looking at it. And guess what? You can generate an income from that. So I think having a blog is very important to anybody that's marketing whatever company, whatever product or service. I feel like you have to have a blog. So I use my blog daily. I use Facebook. I use videos. And of course, Blab. I do a Blab every single Monday.
Okay. So here, Zach brought out a couple of important points. One of them, I'm just going to kind of review what he just said. One of the things he talked about was repurposing. That when he produces video, and he spoke about video first, that he not only produces that video and publishes it on his video channel, which is probably YouTube, but he also uploads that video to Facebook, right? he takes that video and he embeds it in on his blog. And one of the reasons why he's done that is so that he can be assured that he's reaching a bigger audience. Everyone that's in his circle of contacts may not visit his blog on a regular basis. So he has a following on YouTube, and he posts his videos on YouTube so that they can see it. Then he certainly has a universe of people that he's connected with on Facebook. So he uploads the video to Facebook so that his Facebook audience can see it. Then, last but not least, he embeds that video on his blog. He makes sure that he's got it on YouTube, he's got it on Facebook. He makes sure that that video is embedded on his blog site for a lot of reasons. Number one, number one reason. The number one is that his blog is his own piece of permanent internet real estate. He owns that. That's a space that he owns, he manages, he maintains. And because it's a paid space, there's no one that can come and take that down, right? He is not at the whims of a social media platform that could restrict him for any number of reasons, right? He knows that he owns his content because that content is lodged on his blog site. And I think that's brilliant. Not only that, but it's a way of drawing other people. It's a way of drawing people that are on his blog site looking at the video to some of the other things that may be on his blog, right? So if he's got any sort of offer or any project that he wants to make known, while people are viewing the most recent blog, they also have the opportunity to look at some of the other areas of his blog site to see what some of the offers are. I think it's excellent. One of the things that in this whole story of my story marketing, content marketing, I want to ask the question because we've got a number of people that have joined us. Kimberly Collins, thank you so much for being here. Tasha, welcome to the Blab. Let's go down the road of marketing for the purpose of building income. If Gary Vaynerchuk and Angela Ahrendts are saying, and Angela Ahrendts, by the way, was earning $26 million annually as a CEO of Burberry. $26 million.
Wow.
In 2014, 1 year ago, she was wooed away from Burberry. She'd served at Burberry for 8 years, and she was wooed away from Burberry by Apple. Headhunters at Apple came to her and offered her to run their global retail operations globally for Apple. $26 million a year, she said. She took the offer, right? She's already earning $26 million. And so the thought is by industry analysts is that she's so good at branding, right? Because what she did was she transformed Burberry, an outerwear company, English brand, transformed that into an international luxury brand that a certain niche, a certain segment of the marketplace all around the globe are desirous now of Burberry. They want to own something that is Burberry, right? She and her team of people are responsible for that. How did she do that? She did not go against the other people that were fashion moguls in her industry, in her niche, because they had pockets far deeper than what Burberry could spend in opening retail sites in every major city. They didn't take that approach. Nor did they take the approach of what's called paid in advertising, where they went to advertising outside advertising agencies and said, hey, you know what? We're interested in making our brand a household name. Give me your advertising plan to help us do that. Instead, she brought in-house a group of millennials who were extremely adept at digital marketing and social media. And instead of having stores all over the globe, Burberry instead of having people come into Burberry stores, she brought the Burberry store into the household of everyone. Think about that now, through digital. All right. This is a luxury brand. Coats run $800 and above, right? But they have now, they're now right at, I think, $1 billion in annual sales. And so let's talk about content marketing. For those of you who possibly are a little non-believing, you really don't believe that your ability to build a story and develop a brand for what it is that you're doing is enough. Again, referring to Gary Vaynerchuk and Angela Ahrendts, your ability to build brand and culture around what you're doing is everything. It's not just enough to have a product and beat people over the head with the product that you are wanting to share in the marketplace. That's not enough. It's how do you develop a story around the product or the service that you are passionate about, and build a story in such a way using multimedia rich tools, music, video, podcasts, imagery. How do you take those tools and build a story around the product or the service that you are offering? Zach, do you have any ideas on the whole thing of, oh, by the way, there is a seat open. So we'd love to have any one of you. I see that we have the distinguished Mr. Ed Zimbardi in our audience. Ed is a phenom in the direct sales and now online sales industry. And so, Ed, anytime that you'd like to join in, you're certainly welcome to join in. But over to you, Zach. I just wanted to ask, what are your thoughts about using digital media and building a story behind brand, building a story for brand behind your product or your service?
Well, I love to use the example of a personal trainer, right? Because I used to be a personal trainer, and one thing that you have to do as a personal trainer is you have to be able to tell somebody how you can help them achieve the goals they want to achieve, right? And the only way you can do that is by creating stories, creating success stories. Either you have your own personal testimony or you create a story with your clients that says, hey, this is what I did for somebody else to help them achieve their success. Now, once you create these stories, right, as a personal trainer, what I always used to recommend to them is give away tons and tons of free value. Now, what do I mean by free value? So as a trainer, the only way I can get my name amongst the people in the gym is I would have to go to them and say, hey, let me train you. Let me give you a free training session. So what are your workout goals? What do you want to accomplish? So somebody tells me, hey, I want to get better at cardio. I want to get better at overall strength training. I will give them a training session for free to show them what I can do to help them. So I always take that and say, you can incorporate that into any niche that you're in, regardless of what your product is, what your service is. If you give people enough value, then they will want to buy from you. They will want to partner from you because they see how the value you're giving them is going to allow them to achieve whatever it is their goals, their dreams is. So I always say you got to give them value. So the way you, like I said, build your story up by giving away value, creating those testimonies that say, hey, you know what, this is what I did for somebody else. This is what I could do for you. This is how I help people in the past. So it's just building your story up, getting personal testimonies out there.
Awesome, awesome. And so what I heard you say was under the title of giving value, what that translates to is finding ways to impart information or educate or move a person from one level of their journey to the next level of their journey in a way that they appreciate, so that you can build testimonies, so that there are people that are saying thank you. And I think that one way of really being able to test whether or not your information, the information that you're conveying to the audience, is valuable, is hitting the mark, is having an impact, is based on the number of thank yous that you get. That's one way. And thank you is the easiest form of a testimonial. A person saying, I really appreciate, what you've done, the insight you've given me, taking me from this area of understanding to this area to this level of understanding, increasing my skill sets. All of those things are ways of making an impact on the audience that you are seeking to serve. And I think that the more you are making an impact on that audience, the more testimonials that you give, it won't be long. It won't be, if you keep stacking testimonials, it won't be long before using these social media platforms that word gets around. And what are some of the ways of getting the word around, right? Zach just spoke about giving value. And I said, what that really means is this, and this. And so there is a saying in the online marketing world, sell your last result, SYLR, sell your last result. And so one of the ways that as a content marketer that you can begin increasing your credibility among your peers is that when you have a result, no matter how small it may seem to you, that you make public that last result. So what do I mean? Let's just say that you are working on an advertising campaign. Let's just say that you're marketing, you have a project or a business, doesn't matter, either or, and your objective for that campaign is to get a list of people that are interested in taking part in your next webinar. They're interested in getting to your next event. They're interested in getting on this list for a new special report that you're going to give on XYZ, 6 different ways of becoming more effective in video marketing. So whatever it is, you're building a list, right? And in doing that, your goal is, and it's got to be a number. So your goal was X number of people on this list added to this list for this week, and you achieved that. Well, the proof of that, of course, is in your email autoresponder. The proof of that is in the registry, whatever means that you have of registering people for that event. And if you were to take this week's results and post that on Facebook, hey, you know what? I'm giving a webcast this week, and boy, is the excitement building. Here's a look at the list of people that are interested in XYZ. And so by publishing your last result, hey, you know what? This project that we're currently in is really gaining momentum. Here's Zach Shahid, who has gained 5 new business mates this week in this project. Here's John Samuelson, who just gained 7 new business mates in this project this week. And so when you are posting the results, the most recent results that you or your project, your team is having, then that certainly registers with people. And it won't be long if you and the people who are with you continue to do that, that your fame will grow. People will say, boy, I was skeptical at first, but now I'm consistently seeing that Mahdi is posting these kind of results. I'm consistently seeing that he is showing up on Blab broadcasts, and he's running these sessions. And so all you have to do is start posting your last result, and it works wonders. So I'd like to get someone else in the seat, and while I'm doing that, I want to put a couple of things in the chat, articles that I think that you may find interesting. If you're interested in this whole subject of My Story marketing and learning how to be a better content marketer, if you're interested in connecting with a group of people, entrepreneurs who are using their combined experiences to collapse the time frame on learning, right, and getting to the next result, I want to put a link or two in the chat for our organization. We have a site, a member site, where we rehearse online techniques for getting the kind of results that I just shared. It's a wonderful thing when you have several people that are sharing their experiences. It really cuts down on the learning curve. But we have an open seat. I'm absolutely inviting people to come and to take the open seat. We have about 5 minutes more in this blab. Let's see. Awesome. We do the My Story Marketing Blab session every Sunday at 6:30. We're absolutely excited that you've come out for this. The subtopic changes slightly from Sunday to Sunday, but the whole emphasis is around online methods for building audience and income around your interests. Using online methods for building an audience and an income around your interests. We have a Facebook group. It's entitled Create Lifestyle Freedom. I'll put that link in the comment stream. It's in the chat stream, and you're absolutely welcome to join that group. It's really the front end to our larger organization. And at the Facebook group, we are posting things on pretty much a daily basis that would give anyone who is involved in a project or a business builder, giving you tools and insights that we feel are valuable to you becoming better at your process. Zach, anything you want to share on the subject of My Story marketing, amplifying your reach, elevating the conversation?
I mean, the one thing I will say about amplifying, your reach is your story. Eventually, like you said, the more consistent that you become with whatever platform that you're using, your story will go viral. Like, people will hear about you all over the place, and your audience will it'll grow. I mean, dramatically. So one of the biggest things I tell people is you have to stay consistent in whatever your process is to get your message out there, especially if you're looking to generate income from your story. You know, you can't give up on your first try. So sometimes you may get on a session like a blab, or you may write a blog and you feel like nobody's engaging on it. But the thing is, you have to stay consistent. The more people see you out there sharing your story, giving them value, your audience, it will continue to grow. And eventually, I mean, I said, it'll go viral. People from all over the world will be watching you and tuning in. So just got to stay consistent.
Ladies and gentlemen, a perfect example of what he's talking about is this environment that we're in right now. Blab is, you know, we mentioned blogs, we mentioned podcasting, we mentioned video, we mentioned, what else did we mention? Mm-hmm. And live stream, all right? So now let's speak about live stream. So traditional live stream, you have GoToWebinar, right? And then the second iteration of the whole GoToWebinar platform was the introduction of Google Hangouts in 2012. And so Google Hangouts really came into being in early 2012 and have taken off. And, you know, it's now become, Google Hangouts have become so widespread now that people actually have their own talk shows. They have their own mini series on, and they're using Google Hangouts as the platform for delivering that content to a global audience. Now we have the next iteration. We have live social discussion. So that live social discussion has taken many forms. Just in the last year, in the last 12 months, less than 12 months, we have Periscope, we have Meerkat, right? Those are single to many presentation platforms that are really built for mobile presenters, people that are using a mobile phone to present their story to a large audience. And now we have few to many platforms, live stream platforms. Blab is an example of that. Blab is an example of that. And with every platform, there's a science, right? There's a science, and there is a learning curve for how to best use that platform for your intended objective. And all platforms don't work for all intended objectives, right? So depending upon what it is that you are, depending upon the message that you have, whether your message is just to deliver good news to a larger audience, or it is something that has an income incentive behind it, be it a product or service. Every medium that you use every medium that's available may or may not have the best application for your message. You have to experiment, and then you have to be consistent with that. Running a live stream, right, like Blab, how do you attract the audience here? You know, how is it that you build a story? How do you keep the audience engaged when you have them here, right? What do you feed your audience to give them? Not only do you want this to be an interactive conversation, but are you delivering something in the context of the conversation? Are you delivering other things? Do you have links that you can supply? Do you have maybe a future Blab that you are going to direct them to? All of these things, right, go into the quality of your experience and the quality of your audience's experience. And so when you are delivering your story, this whole topic has been My Story Marketing, just understand that it's a process. And the most important thing is that you jump in, you're right? Because nothing happens right? Nothing happens as a content marketer until you produce the content. If you don't have a video, you can't talk about distributing videos, right, along several digital distribution streams. If you don't have a blog article that you've written, you can't talk about how you're going to affect the reach of that blog. So you've got to absolutely jump into the game and start producing original content, and then connect with other people who are in the same on the same path, the same journey that you are, perhaps a little further down the road than you are, and your skill sets increase automatically. As soon as you begin masterminding with other people who are doing things that are similar to what you're doing, and they may be a little more advanced, your skill sets automatically increase by the association. This has been the Sunday edition of My Story Marketing. Thank you so much, Zach Shahid, for being here and co-hosting, pulling me out of a tight spot because technology wasn't working in the first few minutes of this blab. I want to thank all of the people who have come here this evening, sharing a measure of your time to see if you could get a little bit more insight to this story of how you can use online tools in the 21st century to not only build brand, but to reach a larger audience. We'll be back to revisit this next Sunday, and next Sunday will be better than this one. I can assure you of that. On behalf of our community, the Create Lifestyle Free